Oh, what the hell, dude?
What the hell, dude?
What'd I do?
What? Hey, everybody. This is Jimmy.
And this is Matt. Welcome to the Area Nerdy One podcast. This is our first episode with this brand.
Rebranding.
Yes.
I
mean, this is our first time with a camera as well, so be patient.
Yes, be patient. You'll notice that there's a major discrepancy between Matt's quality and my quality because I'm using my crappy onboard software that came with my laptop. So it's a little grainy. It looks a little bit like I'm a Bigfoot video right now, but we'll improve that eventually.
Also, make sure not to pick your nose or anything in the camera because now people are actually watching you. Just a heads up.
That's right. That's right.
By the way, before we jump into the topic that we're going to be talking about, I want to tell these people about what you said a couple days ago through our text about when we were trying to pick a topic for this podcast episode.
Yes. Well, this past couple weeks have just been too intense as far as nerd culture goes to kind of wait until we were ready to launch our new brand, so we just had to jump right into it.
Well, let's I'm going to talk about it first because you are a fake fan, man, of Star Wars.
Explain yourself this instant, lest I smite you where you stand.
All right, so people of the internet, this guy over here decides to text me and we're like, hey, we're going to come up with a topic for the podcast this week. Should we do Spider-Man or The Last Jedi trailer? Now, if you're watching this right now, The Last Jedi came out, what, a year ago?
I'd say well over a year ago. It was
well
last
over
Christmas,
a year ago. And why in the hell would we talk about The Last Jedi when the Rise of Skywalker trailer just dropped like 2 days ago? This guy over here is like, oh yeah, let's talk about The Last Jedi trailer.
Like a true fan, you're gonna jump down my throat about completely understandable slip of the tongue regarding titles.
Star Wars fans are brutal.
You wouldn't be a Star Wars fan if you weren't ready to freaking burn me at the stake over this type of little slip up.
Well, let me just tell you, man, I've been a Star Wars fan since I was 4.
Okay.
So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this.
Well, I've been a Star Wars fan since I was 4. I was all about that Darth Maul when he came out.
Oh my gosh. Well, dude, Darth Maul we'd be 5 or 6 at that point. When wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So it was 1999 that the episode 1 came out.
Okay, so we were 5 or 6.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I watched episode 4, like A New Hope, when I was 4 years old.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I can't remember when I first ended up watching Star Wars. Star Wars is one of those things where you just sort of always knew what it was about and like what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things that it was brought down generation to generation. But...
Yeah. Like we're prequelers. Like that was the saga that was aimed at our age group when we were coming up.
Very true. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love all the eras of the Star Wars franchise, but
true.
When us growing up with the sequels, it was kind of like, the prequels. Sorry, we grew up with the prequels. It was kind of like that's how we built the story.
Right. Exactly. So,
but.
Yeah, so in case you guys hadn't pieced it together already, we are talking about the new trailer for the Rise of Skywalker. Oh god.
Wow, dude, you are 2 for 2 right now.
I'm walking on very thin ice.
You are. This channel is gonna be dropping, and we're gonna be posting our first episode. And these people are gonna be like, "Oh, look at this guy."
I know.
What's the point? Just discontinue your channel.
I know. Yeah. So, if I may start again, the special look trailer from D23 of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
You got it. There
God,
you go.
Get off my case, Jesus.
Anywho, it's okay, man. It's all good. We're all friends here.
Anywho, yes. Just a little honorable mention of nerdy news. We don't want to do like a full newscast this time around, but yeah. So that all the shenanigans with Spider-Man and Sony splitting from Disney and the MCU, that's been going down.
That's been a big controversy and a lot of splitting of fans. That can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah. So I haven't been able to 100% confirm or deny these like reports and rumors that I've been seeing swirling around, but it looks like Disney was asking for an inordinate amount of money even for like movie franchises, in case you hadn't noticed, their last movie, Endgame, made more money than God. So,
That is very true.
yeah. So, and I don't blame, and honestly, at this point, I don't blame Sony for like being like, okay, this is the one property that we own that Disney doesn't own. Honestly, that may be the one thing that keeps Disney from actually turning into like an energy being in the shape of Mickey Mouse and like taking over the actual universe. Like that might be like the last piece of their power that they need, like the last Infinity Stone that they need to take over all of fandom.
That was a good analogy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Did you just come up with that one?
Yeah. Oh, actually, it was my girlfriend came up with that one.
Oh, you better quote her then.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she wants a shout out on this. She's not quite as nerdy as me, but she gets.
Okay, well, we'll put it down as Jimmy's girlfriend.
Okay.
Quoted. All right.
You got it. I do have a girlfriend, by the way. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just tell everybody about yourself.
Before I completely embarrass her and myself over the internet. Just one more thing. Honestly, after seeing Endgame, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm good. I could like not have to go see every other Marvel movie that ever gets made now. I felt that was a good end point for me. So, I'm good. I could do without Marvel at this point. Maybe Shang-Chi. I'll go see him.
Don't hate me because I haven't seen Endgame yet.
Okay. #spoilers.
Well, I mean, that's not. I mean, of course, that's not our topic for today
Right.
because
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you're just trying to get some little nerd news out there. But
Exactly.
like, I think that these fans and there's a lot of high expectations, and I think that a lot of it's not delivering, and it's kind of like, it's not necessarily director and writer's fault for these things, but it is, I don't know. It's very upsetting sometimes. I mean, I'm gonna admit that I get that way sometimes.
Right.
Especially with like some like for example, Rogue One, when that came out, I was very disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Are you kidding? Yeah, we talked about this. I'll say it. I am a Rogue One fan.
I am pro Rogue One.
I am Progue One. That's what it's called.
Well, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but before we jump into the Rise of Skywalker topic, we should talk about the Star Wars, fan base in general because, I keep seeing all these rumors and things about this new movie coming out, and a lot of people are, they're putting out these, the whole thing. You saw the trailer.
Yeah.
And you know how people are saying like, oh yeah, this is not this, or oh, Rey's not this to that, or Kylo is really this, or Snoke was this, and it's, that's when they're trying to throw these predictions out there. I think that's what's giving these fans like, high expectations about the movie. Like, if Palpatine's gonna really be the one that was Snoke, then that's who's gonna be the main thing, and that's what people expect. And then when they go into the movie and it doesn't happen, it causes them to feel upset. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with these movies nowadays, like in the nerd sphere, is that people are hearing or reading what's on the internet, and they're seeing, oh that'd be awesome, Darth Vader's coming back into. I'm just using an example right now.
Yeah.
I mean, say, oh, Darth Vader's coming back in episode 9, that the rumored that Anakin's going to show up in full form as a Force ghost or whatever. And it's like, and all of a sudden you go to watch the movie and it's like, where was it? It's like, guys, these rumors, this information, it's coming from, they could come from anybody.
Yeah. It could come from the Russians.
So it's like there's so many. It's like they say these are inside sources. It's like where are you, like, are you on set? Were you on set when this happened? Because I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably a lot of people who worked on this movie.
Yeah.
But I bet you there's a lot of contracts written where they can't leak a lot of things, and it comes back and bites them in the ass. Like I'm sorry, but
I had a friend who went and visited the set of he went to visit New Zealand. And this was when they were making the Hobbit movie, and so he went and visited like the Shire set, basically.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sick.
But since they were making the Hobbit movie, they all had to before they went in, they all had to sign a waiver that like they will not, like, tell anyone, distribute anything, say anything about what's going on there, because they're making the movie. Everything was hush hush.
Oh my gosh.
Even though if you've read the Hobbit, you know how everything goes, but.
It's just the point.
So it's beside the point. But coming back to your point, honestly, I am way more excited and way more satisfied with movies when my predictions don't come true.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I never thought about it that way.
I'm going to a movie to like be like somewhat surprised and see something maybe that I haven't seen before or thought about before, and
Right.
you know, it's honestly, let's face it, at this point, if Star Wars put out like a 10-minute puppet show with like sock puppets, like I'd pay $50 to go see it.
It's like the Harry Potter Puppet Pals.
Yeah, if they put out another Star Wars Christmas special, like just same quality, same just absolute nonsense, like I'd go see that.
All right. Well, then if that comes out, we're gonna have to go buy tickets immediately.
Exactly.
Like I'm talking, like we're gonna empty our bank accounts to
Yeah.
go see this.
Yeah. You've seen that Christmas special, right?
No. Well, I haven't seen the Christmas special.
Yeah.
I've heard about it, but
Oh
I
God,
mean...
it's a trip and a half. Holy crap!
What do you mean by that?
Like, well, first of all, it's a Christmas special put on TV in like the '80s, I think, and it's just like it's Star Wars. Like it's all the actors. It's got Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Mark Hamill and all those people. But it's like super low budget and like super cheesy, and it's like incredibly weird, and like there's some very trippy parts to it, and just very poorly written, etc. It's it's like it's like you watch a bot it's like you force a bot to watch 1,000 hours of Star Wars and then write a script about it.
It's like I think I saw the picture, like the group picture they took where they're all sitting there. I even think Chewbacca looked different.
Yeah.
Like he looked like he was wearing like a low budget costume.
Yeah, and like it had like Chewbacca's family, and like it was.
Oh no.
And they put zero effort into like naming them. It was like Lumpy and Harry and.
Oh my God. Lumpy Harry.
Yeah, and it's just not good. Like,
oh my
it's
gosh.
It's one of those things where like it's so bad that it's good. You know.
Okay.
So look it up. It might be on YouTube. Check it out. At least look up some clips for it, because it's worth a Google.
I'll have to do that then. But
what if this movie comes out and it's just they just like resplice the Christmas special into a Star Wars movie?
Oh yeah, and Luke comes out as Santa Claus, and then it's like all of a sudden they bring a little. I think they should bring in the other kind of holidays into it, like the Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, and just bring everything into it.
God,
like all of a sudden, like the little you remember those creatures in The Last Jedi that were on the the porgs?
Oh yeah, the porgs. Yeah, that's right.
They do the 12 days of Christmas. It would be the porgs would be like one of the numbers.
Or like that's like when we first saw Kylo's lightsaber and they were making spoofs, and the guy had like the spoof where he's got like the menorah shaped lightsaber.
Yeah, it was like what? Is there 8?
Yeah. Oh god.
Sorry, I don't know much about this, but there was 8, and he's just like it was when the Force Awakens did their when Kylo's walking through the forest, he ignites the lightsaber, and you first see the blade.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. It's like
yeah. All right, so why don't we get to a couple of the points? Okay, so let's analyze this trailer. I've got it brought up right now. Okay, so the first it's about 2 minutes long. The first minute and a half is like just clips from the original trilogy and the sequels, and like bringing us, and then the sequels, and then bringing us to bringing us up to speed, basically.
Yeah, and basically what we see is, it's all trying to merge all the eras together, which, I mean, I was surprised they actually threw in the prequels portions in there, because I thought they were just going to go right from the originals and just kind of go from there, but they really brought that through, so that's how you know they're trying to make the connection through everything. Yep. Which is great. Yep. I'm glad to see that.
Yep, Darth Maul got an honorable mention. That was always cool.
Oh yeah, dude, he's important. You can't just throw his story out.
Yeah, he's important. Well, I mean, like in the movies, his importance is fairly small unless you count him coming back for Solo.
Clone Wars.
For Solo.
Oh, Solo.
Yeah,
okay.
But yeah, he had come back for the Clone Wars, and he was a very, very important character. And yeah, honestly, that death scene between him and Obi-Wan still gets me.
Oh, dude, without a doubt. I mean,
well, that's Rebels, but I digress. It's by the by.
well, I mean, that scene was pretty intense. But anyway, getting into the trailer you were mentioning.
Yes, but we digress yet again.
Let's let our ADD kind of just soothe out, and we'll stay on topic this time.
Yes. Okay. So once it gets out of the gets out of the recap, you see. Okay, let's see. First things first. You got Chewbacca, Poe, Rey, Finn, and 3PO. They're looking out over a desert planet. Yet another desert planet.
Which do you think? Wait, now before you move on from that, do you think that's Jakku or Tatooine?
No, it's from what I've seen of the promotional stuff. It's a quote unquote brand new desert planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't read that part
Yeah.
because I've been trying to stay away from.
That's been one of the sticking points with some Star Wars fans because it's like really yet another desert planet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which, it's cheaper to film in the desert. So what can you do?
Yeah, low budget.
Well, yeah, Star Wars movie is low budget. But like, so I think in I forget where it was, but in A New Hope they filmed in like an African country or a different country. But I know that in the United States, I'm pretty sure that is that a doggo?
That's my dog.
Yeah, Bender. How's he doing?
Oh, sorry. My dog got picked up. I will make sure to. That's gonna pick up on the audio anyway. Crap. Oh well, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. Okay, I'm pretty sure that in the United States you get like a tax break or no taxes if you film in the desert. But yeah, so that might be a contributing factor to it. But so it looks like they're coming across a big crowd of people. Don't know if it's like a settlement. It might be a settlement. Looks like there's some like tents or something set up, and it might be a resistance stronghold or something. We don't know.
Could be the Allies.
Could be the Allies. Yes. Don't know what's going on there. Get some Carrie Fisher because she's going to be in this movie posthumously. She will be missed dearly, and I will cry vigorous manly tears every time she comes on camera.
Yeah, I can agree. I mean, seeing her presence, they did pretty good in matching her face around to the body. So it would be interesting to see what they do with her.
Yeah. Yes. I think what they're doing is they're using footage that they got while filming the other movies.
Oh yeah, that does make sense. They probably scanned her face. Well, they also can do it when somebody has you ever seen the program when somebody's
like the deep fake.
Yeah, or when they put like the dots on their face and then they move and it like creates the character. Like I guarantee somebody with similar facial expressions or features or whatever, even her daughter maybe, I don't know. Like they could like do that and kind of show that facial expression, or they could have taken it because if you look at that scene where she's standing there like smiling, it looks familiar. Like you've seen that probably in The Last Jedi or in The Force Awakens, but
right,
it's possible.
Yeah. Well, do you think maybe they'll do a? Do you think maybe they'll pull a Tarkin from Rogue One and make it in just straight up computerized?
I don't know. I think they'll do. They look like because when you see that scene in the trailer where Rey's hugging her, I believe.
Yeah.
You see that like it's a real person, so I'm feeling like they use like the face as more of the CGI, and I think the body itself is just a regular person. So I think that they found somebody with a probably similar body figure.
All right.
And somebody with maybe the same somewhat facial features, and they kind of alternated it. Because look at technology nowadays, man. You can do anything.
Oh yeah. Well, I mentioned that deep fake stuff where basically they can take footage of your face or computerize your face onto another face and like create fake a fake footage of whoever they want basically. So yeah.
Yeah.
While I'm inordinately and just completely enjoying this movie, I'm also going to be looking out for the slightest flaw in the Carrie Fisher performance that I can, just rage.
Dude, wait, no. Here's what you need to do about
rage.
That. Hold on. Now, before you do that, first, I think you should see it. The first time you see this movie, I think you should enjoy it first.
Okay.
Don't look at the flaws yet.
Fair enough. Okay.
Secondly, when you go to see say you want to go see it a second time.
Because I'm going to see it a second time. Let's face it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's important. That's when you can pick out things and see things you didn't see in the first time, because the first
True.
time was a big surprise. But
True.
what you need to do the second time you go to see this movie
Yeah.
is you need to point out the flaws. That's when you'll do it, and then we can have a comeback episode and we can talk about this.
Yes. And in all seriousness, I'm not gonna like be like, oh my god, like they like Carrie Fisher's a bot or anything. I'd be more interested in see like, okay, how are they like handling this? Is it like respectful to Carrie Fisher and her legacy, etc. That's
Oh yeah,
more
I
my
feel like
concern.
they're gonna do a great job. I feel like J.J. Abrams wouldn't just throw her out throw her out on the road like
Oh,
that.
no,
like
no,
I
no.
think he'll do a really good job with her.
Okay, cool. All right, but
But moving on into the trailer though.
yes. So then we have a couple of scenes juxtaposition. You have what appears to be the Resistance Armada, including the Millennium Falcon. Yes. And
Of course, that thing ain't dying.
and the much more well-organized and much larger First Order Armada composed of varying degrees of Star Destroyers.
Dude, and let's point out that those Star Destroyers were Empire era.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
I didn't even notice that. So, like,
If you look, okay, like here, I'll I guess when you get the chance, Google this. Look up First Order Star Destroyers versus Empire Star Destroyers, because if you look, there's a very big difference.
remember who you're talking to. I know the difference between a First Order and a Empire-era Star Destroyer. Okay, is the sentence that I would say if I want to get my ass kicked instantly. But yes, I do know the difference, and now I'm thank you for pointing that out because I didn't notice that. Like, maybe who knows? Maybe flashback. Maybe the First Order got themselves an armada of Empire Star Destroyers. Or
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about anybody else who wants to look it up, because sometimes some people don't see the difference.
Okay.
I wasn't saying, hey Jimmy, you don't know what a Star Destroyer looks like.
all right, you're right. It's not all about me.
Okay, we're changing the name of the channel just to Jimmy's channel. That's all it's gonna be called.
Just the Area Jimmy 1 podcast. Just all about me. It's just an hour and a half of me talking about myself.
Oh yeah, right. Well, I mean that's fine. I'll just sit here and spectate and just look pretty.
That's right. Know your place, peasant. All right, my bad.
Oh my gosh.
Bender.
But yeah, I know my dog's barking again. Sorry.
Who's a good
within
boy?
the first episode. That's fine. Well, I'm gonna keep it in the audio because it'll be cute.
Yeah.
I mean, dog is good advertisement. So anyway, yeah, we were talking about, you see the Star Destroyers, and I mean, we're not talking about just a few. We're talking about a whole army worth. Like, I'm talking about maybe like 200 just in that one shot.
Yeah. There's
And
a lot.
so this way, from what I've seen, if you look at the previous movie poster, I don't think it was the official poster, but the one with the red Sith troopers in it,
Yes.
which I'll put it right here right now on the screen. You'll see that, if this is what they call Palpatine, if Palpatine's still in this, as we heard his voice in the trailer,
Yeah.
this could be his fleet of red Sith troopers.
True.
I mean, that where it comes from, it maybe the First Order comes to an end within the first part of the movie, dude. Like, maybe the First Order was just like a mask of the old Empire to kind of bring that fear, but it's like, oh, hey, there's really something bigger coming,
Yeah. So.
And all of a sudden you see this fleet of Empire Star Destroyers.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I was wondering, because how can there be the Sith troopers in the First Order? Because in the First Order era, like, they don't have the Sith. Like, the Sith are wiped out when Palpatine died.
Yes, this is just a dark side. It was just a dark side,
Yeah, like
what do you want to call it? A dark side group, I guess.
like Mother Talzin, like they control the dark side, but they're not the Sith.
Exactly. And there's a lot of things in the Star Wars encyclopedia about what the differences are, and
Right.
when you see these red Sith troopers, which, I mean, if they are in it, like, I'm not saying they're not. I mean, that poster that they revealed shows these guys in there. I mean, I don't, like, was that an official poster? Like, I don't think it was.
So I think I don't know if that was no, I think that was an official poster, but I think what tipped people off about the Sith Troopers was that there was either armor on display or there was an action figure that got released or promoted that was labeled Sith Trooper.
Right. Now I remember this. Okay. So if that's the case, then they are in this. They are officially in the movie or
Right.
in the Star Wars collection, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, but that's one of my theories is that that's what it is. Those Star Destroyers are Palpatine's Sith army because Palpatine being the last Sith technically.
Yeah.
From what we know.
Yes.
I mean, so far. I mean, I think that's a big clue. But now we can move on from that topic now that we saw that.
All right. Well, next big clip that's got people buzzing is Red Eye's C-3PO.
I honestly, dude, I feel like in that part, I feel like that was just like maybe like an adjustment to his like mechanics, or it was just like a new thing for him, like the red arm. I think that's all it was. I don't think it was really anything that was like evil. I mean, if it is though, that's hey, why not?
Yeah. Honestly, who knows with that one? In Legends, like I think it was either the novels or the comic books or something, there is a story about how C-3PO had like secret programming that let him start a droid rebellion. So maybe we'll get to see a nod to that.
Well, there was I forgot which comic it is or comic series. There is an evil copy of C-3PO that's like a darker gray and he has red eyes. But I don't think they were aiming for that. I think that was just something that was off the books.
Right. All right, and then we see, let's see, our laser shooting into the ground, which could be anything. I'm not super psyched about that. But then
I think that could be from maybe the Star Destroyers, or it could possibly be from another kind of like super weapon.
Possibly, doesn't seem. I mean, like if it's Death Star and or Star Killer base, those had a much more instant and spectacular way of destroying stuff. That looks like it's more, I don't know, not concentrated, but like not as powerful.
Smaller.
Yeah. Exactly. Maybe like one of the cannon they used to blow up the bunker base in The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, the Dreadnought.
Yeah, no, the Dreadnought was the spaceship. So they're in the bunker and then the first order dragged the cannon. Yeah,
the Death Star. What do they call it? What did Finn call it? It's like a Death Star.
Yeah, it's a miniaturized like Death Star cannon or something. Yeah. So maybe something like that. Who knows? And then we see Rey, perform the force throw with her lightsaber, which I don't think we've actually really seen that outside of video games.
Well, I mean, that was one of Darth Vader's powers. Yeah. And if you look in that scene, do you see that training droid that's above the tree?
Okay, hold on one second. I got it pulled up here.
If you watch the trailer, in that part where she throws the lightsaber and goes through the tree, there's one of those hovering orbs that shoots the blasters for training for Jedi.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's like, I think she was trying to aim for that. So this is like a training exercise for her, trying to learn this power.
I see. All right. I think that. Oh yeah, I see it now. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
No. I keep interrupting because I'm egotistical. It's part of the package. But yeah. So why don't you go ahead first?
I just have a theory on this too.
Okay.
Because how I'm not trying to jump into the trailer too far, but there's a part where Rey kind of changes. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so I think at that point, that's when she's starting to figure out that she has more powers than she can imagine. Because when you're on the light side, your powers are limited.
Right.
And you can't go any farther because you don't want to go to the dark side.
Right.
And so I think that with her doing that, she's kind of exploring her options.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of figuring out oh shoot, my video stopped. Hold on.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, and then one part, she throws the lightsaber. And I think that she's like learning that Vader, because I think she has some sort of connection with Vader somehow. I don't know how or why, but I feel like with her doing that, because I think Vader's the only one you ever see throw a lightsaber like that.
True. Yeah. And did he do that in the Rogue One hallway fight scene?
No, he mostly just slaughtered and deflected.
Yeah.
So basically, it was just like, you know.
Yeah. And then when he actually threw the lightsaber in, what was the Return of the Jedi?
Return of the Jedi.
It was more of like, you know, like in the video games and like in like the video games, it was more. It's like, you know, a cool boomerang type move where there it looked more like he was just kind of like lobbing his lightsaber at the walkway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. One little actually I'd like to throw in here. So, you know, you said that the dark side is more powerful, but you know when Luke is talking to Yoda, he's like, no, it's not more powerful, but it's, you know, quicker, easier, more intense, you know, etc.
Yeah, because they say it's easy to fall to the dark side because of fear and anger.
He didn't say it was more intense, but he said, but basically my theory about like the dark side versus light side is light side can be as powerful, but to get to some place like Yoda or Master Windu, you have to have like, you know, much more discipline and training. Whereas if you're on the dark side and you're a Sith, you can, you know, that road to power and ability is a lot quicker, but it's you know, incredibly
Well, I
corrupting.
mean, I don't mean to go even deeper into like the conversation trying to distract us from the trailer, but you know, Mace Windu also had a form of dark power that he uses. That's why his Artemis blade was the way it was, is because it was a dark side thing. But he did not, you know, he wasn't strengthened with the dark side. It was more of a ability, I guess you could say.
So it was his. Now we're gonna get to super nerd territory. So his lightsaber style / fighting form was Vapad, which basically meant like you channel the other person's like negative power and dark side power into a loop through yourself to like, you know, send it back to them, and you can like not like draw energy, but like create a continuous loop of energy to fight better. And that's how he was kind of able to defeat Darth Sidious in the Return of the Sith. So
the Return of the Sith?
Remember
Revenge of the Sith.
There's my third strike.
Oh my god. This is the first episode.
You're right. I'm not. You guys have caught me. I'm not actually a Star
You're not
Wars
worthy.
fan. Yep, I'm not.
Oh my god.
I've actually been a Lord of the Rings fan this whole time.
What is this? Is what you've been talking about this entire time?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, people! You know, Jimmy. Obviously, I'm joking with you, but you know, the titles. I'm not gonna lie, the titles are very long, and they're kind of sometimes you mix up some of them because like, you know, there's a couple of times where I've had to look back and go, was it Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Sith? But it's like, you know,
now it's like Revenge of the Sith, Rise of Skywalker, Return of the Jedi. You know. The only ones that are like really unique are like the Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars and like the Attack of the Clones. More of it's like
I was gonna say, there you go again. That's almost four, dude.
Fourth strike. Now I'm into the negatives. Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But okay. So moving on into the trailer, you know, we saw like, you know, that power that Rey has throwing the lightsaber. I think that's her starting to explore a little bit more of her powers that she has the ability to do.
Yep. And then the next scene is so on the like very first trailer we saw that they see the part of the Death Star out like poking out of an ocean, right?
Which is amazing.
It was awesome. I can't wait to see like how that plays out. But this next scene is, you know, Rey and Kylo Ren dueling on what appears to be either a ship or part of the Death Star in that ocean.
It was a part of the Death Star, and if you actually look at the poster, the new poster, which I'm going to put right now, right here, is you see that, you know, that thing that they're standing on?
Yeah.
If you look back at one of the pictures of Obi-Wan Kenobi from A New Hope turning off the energy shields, or the tractor beam, that's what it looks like, that tower. If you look at the little like specks here, and there's like little holes at the bottom of the little tower thing there.
Oh.
You could see, and it's like, oh, so is that one of the tractor beam parts from the Death Star?
Maybe. We'll have to go through and look at the schematics.
Yeah. So anybody at home that's watching this, you know, take a look and you tell me if they look.
Let's see here. Is there a nuclear reactor on that floor? Dum 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 dum. No nuclear reactor. No. You can never. I mean, you could never have too many nuclear reactors.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, you were saying that they were battling. But if you also, I want to point out a little flaw that you don't really see. I mean, I noticed this with somebody posted a video and they pointed it out and I couldn't believe it. But if you look at the reflection of Kylo Ren in that fight scene in the water that's like on that little part of the Death Star,
Yeah.
it shows he has no cape, but in the video he has a cape, so the cape was CGI'd.
Ah, yep. There you go.
Do you see it?
Yeah. Yep. Which they do that sometimes. It's
Continuity errors, man.
yeah. It's just it's despite what Batman fans will say, like doing action or fighting, like doing fight scenes or even just like moving in a cape, it's
Difficult.
it's difficult. Like that warehouse fight scene from Batman versus Superman.
Oh
Yeah, they CGI'd the cape the entire time.
See, honestly, like with, the Kylo Ren part of this, I don't think he needs the cape for the fighting. I mean, you see him take it off when he fights Luke in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't they just like let him fight with his regular stuff, Who cares about the cape?
I think maybe because this time he's like super leaning into the Darth Vader fanboy thing.
Oh, he's still into that?
No, well, yeah, he reforges the helmet.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Even though we don't see
you
him...
see that in one of the other trailers.
Yeah, even though we don't see him wearing it in any of this trailer, so maybe
watches as he fixed it, he like picks it up and he's like so excited about it and it just falls apart.
Yep. Yep, like a nerd actually like putting together a replica and like it falls apart. Yes.
It's like that scene in SpongeBob when the guy in the old folks' home and he says, "I'm finished. I finally written in red ink," and all of a sudden all that red juice comes in. He's like, "Oh, barnacles!" For all you don't know,
he's like he's like soldering the thing back together, and he's like, "Good," and then Hux comes in. "Sir, we're approaching coordinates. Knock before you come in. Knock." "What'd you see?" "I didn't see you putting together your helmet again, sir." "Good."
Good. Oh my gosh, yeah, they pull that reference in. If they put Spaceballs in this, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah. So
right.
Moving on from that scene, after Rey and Kylo are fighting up on top of that part,
And then here's the big one. Here's the big scene that everyone's talking about, including me. You know what it is.
oh, you reveal it, man.
Okay, so you see what appears to be what people are calling Dark Side Rey because she's wearing black. Her face is all like, dark and like, gaunt and, evil looking. And then boom, double-bladed lightsaber. But it starts off with two blades pointing the same way, and then she sort of switchblades it around into a saber staff with like
It's like a nunchuck kind of thing.
That's okay. Yeah. So at first, it looks like it might be a switchblade lightsaber, which we see in the Clone Wars, where basically, for some reason, which I haven't figured out if there's any actual point beside to this, but like you can like switch it around and it becomes like a Darth Maul style saber staff.
I don't know. I mean, I think they were just doing it to be fancy.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, like, yeah, that's the thing. Every time they have to, well, first it was Darth Maul's lightsaber. You see that second lightsaber come out, and everyone's like, "Holy shit!" Including
it's double bladed.
Including 5-year-old me, I was like, "This is the height of technology. Nothing in the world will be cooler than this double bladed lightsaber." And then came Count Dooku with his curved handle, and then General Grievous with the 4 lightsabers, and then came Kylo Ren with people went nuts for Kylo Ren with the saber guard thing.
Hilt.
Yeah, the hilt.
Yeah.
So they're up in the ante trying to come up with new stuff that's semi makes sense as far as lightsabers go. But I don't really see a point to this. Maybe it's better for transport. Maybe it's easy to carry around.
That is possible.
But I'm also crossing my fingers that we're gonna get a canon version of that Bruce Lee video where the guy edits the lightsabers onto his nunchucks.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm hoping that we're gonna get a canon version of lightsaber nunchucks. Yeah, I'm really hoping.
I mean, now that we've seen this part and the trailer ended, I had so many theories because I went back and watched The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And some connections, when you This is theory time now.
All
by the way.
right, lay it on us. Come on.
Okay, so first one. You know how in The Last Jedi you see Rey looking at herself and there's a whole bunch of copies of herself?
Yeah.
I think that Rey is a rogue clone of herself that was originally oh my god, what is it? I don't know. Okay, whatever the term is. It comes from that particular host, I guess. The host, I think, is an evil, dark side wielder or Sith. Because they
Ooh.
say... Because I forgot where I read it. Somebody said that, Rey's connection to Palpatine has been revealed. And they say that... I mean, spoiler alert for anybody who don't want to know.
I kind of don't want to know, but you've also started going down this rabbit hole, and I have to see where it ends.
Well, dude, you might kind of predict this.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not true because it just doesn't fit. But what I mean is, okay, but say that Rey's connection with Sidious is something, and say that Sidious is like this person, the real like Rey that we don't know about is like a real like Sith or something. Because remember they said that Snoke had a apprentice that they did not know about.
Right.
And so I think that Rey was this rogue clone. And you see in the reflection when she goes into that dark side hole on that island where Luke was, you see a whole bunch of her. I think the Sith army is consisted of clones of herself.
Oh.
And yeah. Like, this is just my idea. Like, I just feel like, all these Sith troopers are actually her because,
I'm
Sith.
Keep going, man. Sorry.
Because I feel like the Sith army is a clone army, and I'm not talking about the Jango Fett clone army. I'm talking about like a clone army of Rey herself, which who knows if even Rey is even her name. Like this point, remember, like in the first beginning part, you see where Rey gets taken away from or she gets dropped off or whatever on Jakku, and then the ship flies away. What if that was the one that went rogue, and someone like who was working on the inside kind of broke her out and like put her there, and then all of a sudden Kylo heard about this, and you know how like in the beginning when he gets all mad and they couldn't catch the droid and he starts like wielding and starts breaking the computers with his lightsaber and all throwing like a hissy fit.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he goes, "What girl?"
Oh, that's true.
I think that part, it's like, oh, wait a minute, that was the rumor maybe that girl was a rogue and was lost. They never found her, and they put her on Jakku because like where are they gonna look for someone on Jakku? It's just a junkyard or graveyard for the Imperials when they had the war against the rebels. See, this is just a theory of mine because like you kind of make connections because like why did they show a whole bunch of Reys in a row? Like why?
So, oh god, like on one hand, like mind blown. That's an amazing theory. I love it. On the second hand, I really hope that's not it because like now the surprise is like semi blown for me. But like,
I'm sorry. I mean, this is just my theory. This may not be.
It's okay, but
probably
like that's an amazing
true.
theory. That's a great movie. Like you should have written that for them. Like holy shit, that's great.
My name is J.J. Abrams.
Oh yeah. Matt's really J.J. Abrams. He does this podcast.
Yeah,
on the
sorry
side
guys.
as a hobby. But yeah,
that's my part-time job.
Yeah. Well, my theory was way more simple and way more it was way more simple. Basically, it's a dark side, vision that Rey has. Like if she were to go down the dark side and like follow, if she were like to follow Snoke instead of Kylo Ren, basically, because her lightsaber is like semi Kylo Renish because it's got a very unstable blade.
Yeah, it's a crack in the crystal. They say.
Yeah,
it's unstable.
So it might be a like a version, like she's seeing the version of herself if she had joined the dark side. Which is way more simple and way, I don't want to say more likely, but like less convoluted than the one you told me. But yours is way better. So let's see if yours ends up being the truth.
Well, dude, here you're saying that if she would have joined Snoke, what about if like she would have joined Kylo in that point where he's like, "Join me, Rey. I want you to join me."
Oh yeah, that's true.
Now,
yeah, that's all right. That's more likely. Yeah.
But say okay, how there's only two,
right?
And say that say at that point when Kylo killed Snoke, that turned him into a Sith. Let's just say.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
just say that somehow became a Sith. So what if at that point Rey killed Kylo and gave her that full power of authority of being a Sith master?
True.
And you think about it, because you know the whole thing with the blade being like that, not just with the cracked crystal, but it means that you're unbalanced.
Yeah.
Like you're leaned a little bit towards more the dark side, but you're also not fully there. Because if you look at Vader bleeding his crystal way back in the comics, if anybody knows what I'm talking about,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
you know, it's a solid red blade. Sidious had a solid red blade. Dooku had a solid red blade. Because they made their crystals bleed. Whereas, like, Kylo, he was very conflicted when he killed his father.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when he got that blade, you know, well, I think he used his own crystal, to be honest with you. I think he feel like he killed himself as Ben Solo, but really didn't. So a little bit of Ben's still alive.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you see a lot of things in The Last Jedi where Kylo's very conflicted, where he doesn't want to even kill his mother when he's, like, fighting this little TIE fighter going across those ships, trying to destroy what they can in the hangars.
Right.
And you see how he just doesn't do it. And then all of a sudden he sees the bombs go towards the ship and it blows up the ship, and he knows, okay, I should have done something, but it's like you can't.
Yeah.
And he's like, he didn't want that being controlled, but I think he wants authority. So I think that now that with Snoke dead, he feels like he has that full power, but he doesn't have it
Right.
totally.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe this time we'll see a version that's like not conflicted. He's just fully leaning into the dark side. Have we gotten any looks at his lightsaber recently? Because remember I mentioned that like in the Force Awakens, like his lightsaber looked like, you know, really thrown together, and then the second.
But it was also destroyed. If you watch that scene when he's fighting Rey,
Yeah.
Rey actually destroyed that lightsaber.
Yeah, but then he rebuilds it, and like I commented, it still looks, you know, retains kind of like that, you know, kind of improvised design, but it's starting to like look more uniform and come together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have we gotten any glimpses at his lightsaber this time around? Because I feel like that'll be a symbol, like if his lightsaber is like more, if it looks more professionally done, or it looks more well designed, then that'll be like a sign like he's now fully leaned into the dark side.
Well, in that first teaser that they did, you see him in the forest, and he like picks up a guy with his like part of his blade, like the little part,
Yeah.
and puts him down. But this blade was still unstable.
Yeah. Well, he would.
So that could be a beginning scene.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, you know, there's a lot of theories to that, because like, you know, like we mentioned this before on our old podcasting we tried doing,
Yeah.
is that, you know, my theory was that red cord that's on his lightsaber, as you can see, I feel like that's what's radiating that red,
Yeah.
because I feel like he couldn't actually make his crystal bleed,
Ah.
because he knows he's still conflicted, so he had to improvise, make sure that Snoke believed him in a way, you know, that, hey, I am
Yeah.
part of the dark side.
Yes.
But it's like Snoke even reveals in The Last Jedi that he has total control of every one of his aspects and all of his movements or anything he thinks about. And you're like, oh, so he can know what he's thinking about. Oh, he connected his mind with Rey's.
Yeah.
So like, you know, he probably didn't fool him at all. He probably was just improvising until he got Rey there, because he probably knows that Rey is one of those clones.
Yeah.
That went rogue but has the potential to be evil, like in my theory that I just talked about a little while ago.
Yeah. Of course, you guys know my theory regarding his lightsaber was just, as an electronics student, I know if you want to make something electronics work, you put wires wherever you can. So that might have been the only thing. Yeah. So, and your theory does it is pretty similar to the storyline of the what's the Force Unleashed? Yeah, the second one, definitely. The video game.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about with all the because you know that was back when the cloning process through Jango Fett was still active, but it was like the Caminians or whatever they're called. They were still cloning, but I bet you cloning got mastered at that point, because hell, how many years in between from the Force Awakens to the Clone Wars? How, like, was that like 40, 50 years?
No, that was between the Clone Wars and the Force Awakens. That was probably I'd say probably 50. Bless me. Jeez. 50 years, yeah. Let's see. You know what? I'll bet I can come up with the timeline. Jeez. But, yeah, for those of you who, #spoiler alert, haven't played the Force Unleashed games. They're not canon anymore. But basically,
I wish they were, dude. They're so good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're a little bit Star Killer's a little bit overpowered to be
Yeah.
in the actual Star Wars canon. But let's see here. Star Wars timeline is what I'm looking up. But basically, the first game is Darth Vader finds in the beginning of the Empire, he finds a young boy and turns him into his apprentice, who goes and hunts Jedi, and eventually the boy turns against him, and I think he gets killed at the end, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, because when you make the choice at the end of the game, you make a choice.
Right.
So basically, it says light side or dark side, but regardless of what you pick, like it kind of goes that route. Because like when you choose dark side, you go to try to kill Vader, but all of a sudden the clone of him, Star Killer, comes and just stabs him in the back, and then all of a sudden he goes, "I told you the cloning process was," I forgot what the line was, but he says something like, "I told you the dark side or the cloning process was successful."
Yeah. Yeah, and so then basically the second game is what may or may not be a clone of this Star Killer character. Is like
It is a clone.
It is a clone.
It is a clone because the first one died, and the first one became a Star Killer as a Sith, where he's like all destroyed. He has like a metal armor and
right.
like he has like Freddy Krueger fingers and.
Okay, here we
really
go.
weird.
I got a timeline here. Okay.
Oh, great.
Okay, so all right, let's say that okay, film blah blah blah. Okay, so let's say here 0 year. Okay, this according to this timeline, 0 years starts at Phantom Menace.
Yeah, because it would be BBY would be before the Battle of Yavin,
Yes.
which is episode 4.
12, and then 13 years later is the Revenge of the Sith, and then let's see here. So 13, blah blah blah. Okay, and then A New Hope is in 32 years. 32 years. Okay, so in 32 years, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 37. Okay, so. Okay, from The Last Jedi. 36. Okay, 36 is the year that the Last Jedi. Return of the Jedi. My bad. And then 36. Yes.
How about you take the date from take the date from The Force Awakens and minus it by the Attack of the Clones?
Yeah. Okay. So it's about it's about 30 years in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Okay.
According to this timeline. Yeah.
Well, I mean, with Star Wars time, their technology's so high, so they could probably develop anything in the matter of a year.
Yeah.
So, the mastering of the clone process, because they with Jango's clones, that was just. I wouldn't say OP, but man, they were strong.
Right.
Like you look at stormtroopers versus them. Who's gonna win?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. So from the Revenge of the Sith, which is when the Clone Wars ended, which is in 13, to Return of the Jedi when Palpatine died, 36. So that's about 15 years ish. So yeah, that'd be time for them to come up with the technology. But basically, the point. So in this, coming back to this game, Force Unleashed. So this clone and/or original Star Killer guy is trying to figure out if he's a clone or not. And this one Jedi's like, you have to be the original because no clone has ever been able. No, they've never been able to clone a Jedi. Like they can't clone Force powers basically. Like that's a big mystery in this game. So it'd be interesting to see if they either sidestep that or resolve it or even acknowledge it at all. Just be like, yeah, you could clone Jedi, and oh, well, why was that always the thing? But yeah,
I mean, again, these are just theories that you and I are having. I mean,
Right.
This is nothing that's true supposedly yet or anything, but I think that keeping an open mind with these things, because it's just weird because the Knights of Ren the Sith Troopers are not even mentioned in this new trailer that we've seen.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, was this really considered a trailer or was this a teaser?
So this was a teaser. It's on the YouTube. It's labeled as the D23 special look. So it's more of a teaser.
Okay, so it was a little inside look at this new movie. So it's probably just something to kind of reveal what was going to possibly happen. But I think that before December comes, I think we'll see a lot more.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I'm wondering how they're going to fit all this stuff into one movie. Are they going to end game it and make it just 3 hours long or what?
Well, they said that the duration of it, what was it, two... it was a little bit shorter, actually. But, you know, a lot can happen in the beginning. Like, what if they're probably just going to go where they left off from The Last Jedi, you know, when they left off on the Millennium Falcon and Kylo found, you know, was on Crate.
Right.
You know, it's, you know, they probably go right from that and then they start building up the First Order again, trying to get his power back or whatever, try to restore whatever he can. And then that's when I think halfway through we start to see the First Order kind of diminish.
Right.
And you start to see more of Rey come out as a dark side wielder because, I mean, I do wish I could tell you what I saw about Palpatine and Rey, but it's kind of obvious in a way that, like, you know, to me, I feel like it can't be true because of timeline purposes.
Right.
But, you know, I feel like I want to mention it right now, but I'm afraid that I'm going to upset you, and I don't want to upset the audience, but it may not be true. I mean, this is just something I saw, like, on an article.
Right. Okay. Maybe save that for another podcast when we get closer and we can discuss it. And, you know, if I'm emotionally ready, then we can talk about it and, you know, get our theories going.
It's honestly, it's stupid because you'd be like, okay, this kind of doesn't make no sense.
Right.
That's what I mean. But yeah, I think that, you know, we're hitting that time now on our recording.
Yeah.
And I think that we've put out a lot of information on this trailer.
Yeah, we have talked a lot about this trailer. We have beaten it to death, but I'm excited for this movie no matter what. I am ready to be disappointed. I am ready to be excited. I want to see what they've got going.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm excited too because, you know, not only that, but the Rise of Skywalker is going to put an end to a story, you know, that we're seeing, and because of course we also have, you know, other shows coming out like The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be on Disney Plus, I believe.
Yeah.
And I saw the trailer for that, and I think our next episode, honestly, like, I think we should have another episode. Next episode, we should probably talk about Spider-Man.
Yes.
But then after that, let's talk about The Mandalorian.
Okay, you got it. All right.
Because that sounds like a big topic right now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see that one. Looks like it might be along the lines of Han Solo, the Solo movie, in that it's more of a space western than like a Jedi movie. But
yeah, well, I mean that I'm expecting that.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited for that too. So all right, we'll get that going. But yeah, as you say, we need to wrap it up. You know, just a heads up, our show is currently in a development stage. We were just too excited not to make a podcast this week because of the trailer. But you know, keep a lookout for some new and exciting designs that we're going to have coming out and some new content we're going to have coming out.
Yeah, so make sure to stay tuned and see what other stuff we put out there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I guess we'll call it a pilot podcast of Area Nerdy 1.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it.
I did too. I mean, this is new. This is different than what we were doing before.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. If there's anybody watching who wants to leave a comment or anything about what you think is going on with this new trailer or what's going to happen in the movie, please do let us know.
In the meantime, we will edit this part out because I just paused. Okay.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna do a sign off. All right. From Area Nerdy 1, this is Jimmy.
And this is Matt.
You're gonna delete all that, right?
Oh yeah, I probably should.
Whew. Thanks, Jimmy. That's the last time I juggled chainsaws.
Well, I'm just glad you learned your lesson. Now let's play some Mortal Kombat, alright?
Yeah!
Yeah!